Saab fans around the world, and welcome back to another video. So, as usual, I should not work on the Turbo X, but I just keeps on going. And my initial thought was to save this for later of the year, like coming spring or something like that. So today we are going to decat the downpipe, and we are going to exchange the secondary catalytic converter for a race cat, 100 cells race cat, which will flow a lot better. So this job right here is due to, like, I would say, first of all, it's to remove the excessive heat from the engine bay, which is caused by the first catalytic converter, and also release some of the back pressure that it creates, because it's straight after the turbo, very close to the turbo. We are going to have a look at it, and everyone owning a V6 knows this, but it creates heaps of back pressure, and that usually causes the exhaust manifold to get hot, and usually it's pretty thin at the pipe that goes from the rear up to the turbo, and that usually cracks, and it sits so hidden, so you will never know when it cracks or what issues it will cause, but it's a very common thing, at least. So I'm going to show you, because I started to collect some piping and steel for the rear wheel drive build, but I can't help it, my head just wants the Turbo X to sound like a proper Turbo X. So it was really cold outside yesterday, but I started to work anyways. Here you can see the coolant tank is off, some of the heat shields, and the battery tray, the battery, and all of the screws and some piping. It's pretty straightforward job. You will lose some coolant, but it's just to refill afterwards. And I have disassembled the mid-pipe. So some previous owner has done a sketchy job. This is the heat shield that sits on the mid-pipe, and they have tried to squeeze it together with a clamp. Didn't work out too well, rattling as well. And here we have the secondary cat, at least, and here we have the race cat that we are going to exchange it with, and you can see the flow through this. The mesh is really open, so to say, and you can see that it fits pretty well where this has sitten, so it's just a straight up replacement. And the mid pipe, the diameter of this is actually approximately 70 millimeters, so 6 millimeters from 3 inch. So this is a really good dimension. So if we just open up this flow, and then the first cat that sits in the downpipe, you see it has been raining, not ideal weather, that's why I just started the job without filming. But here you can see I have removed everything, and the downpipe is actually loose, but it's so hard to get out. So what I will do next is remove these 3 bolts right here that will lose the engine mount. So we will lower the engine a little bit, and that should make it easier for this to come out. I think we will need to remove this bracket that sits behind also. So as I said, it's a really tight squeeze. I have removed this on the Turbo 6, the enginebay previously, and that was also quite a hassle to get out, but I managed. And we will have a look inside here, because you can see the turbo, and then the catalytic converter comes straight afterwards. So I will do this work, and then we will continue inside of the garage when we have it out, and you will see how easy it is to just drill out and punch it out from the downpipe. Yes. So this downpipe right here, this is like the battle of the disassembly. You need to remove so much and you will not win the fight. So it's just to disassemble as much as you can. So for example, here's a little bracket, this will sit in the way. This heat shield needs to go, otherwise you won't be able to fix it. And it sits with so many bolts. One is down here, which is a little bit hard to get to. And this is the pipe that I'm talking about, that goes from the rear exhaust manifold. These tend to crack. Very common V6 problem, but the heat shield, I just bent it up so I will easily get it back. Disconnected this one right here, as I said, remove this bracket. What else have I done? I let this heat shield sit. It could be disassembled as well, but I had a hard time getting it off down there. But yeah, it's out. And you can see, probably see the mesh down here, it's so tight, it's like hitting a wall. So we are going to remove this right now, and also remove this heat shield right here, because this is only in the way when trying to disassemble this. This is like a mental job. If you have done this once, you need to like recover for a couple of months before you do it again. And you can see right here, what tools did you use? Like all of them. It's like stuff everywhere. So to remove the catalytic converter core, I'm just using a hammer, flathead screwdriver and a wood drill bit to go through it. Last time I did this, I remember it went pretty easily.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way.
So quite easy to get this out. I don't think this material is the best to inhale, so be a little bit careful. But you can see how tight this mesh is that the exhaust gases should pass through. This looks like Minecraft. And the entry of the downpipe right here is 77 millimeters, so a little bit bigger than 3-inch. And then comes this huge chamber where the cat was, and down to the downpipe, and this is heat shielded pretty good. So we're gonna just wrap up where the cat was. Of course now it will be flow straight through, so this will not be a heat center anymore, but we will still wrap it up, so we will protect the engine and engine bay from excessive heat. So downpipe done. So now we're gonna put this back into the car, put everything on the top back together, then start to measure in the midpipe. So for you it has only been a couple of seconds, but for me it has been like 1.5, maybe 2 hours. I got everything back that was disassembled is back right now. Battery is back, battery tray, everything, all the heat shields. And the tricky part was to get the coolant tank back again. There is a hose down beneath with the clips that was kind of tricky to get on, but now it's on, so I'm gonna undo this cap so I don't forget to refill the coolant. It's not much that's missing anyways, because it will only be the ones that was in the container. The system on the engine is still full. Now I will cut away the OEM catalytic converter and replace it with the 100 cells cat. And I'm getting a little bit tired, so I will try to fit it as it lay down right here, and I hope that I get all the angles correct. The best way to do it and the correct way to do it would have of course been to be underneath the car, tack weld it, then remove it again and fully weld it. But now we will take the easy route and hope it works. Fingers crossed. This shows that I'm just getting tired. I forgot to start the camera when I started to cut. Well, that's a really classic. But here you have the difference. I hope you can see it. Might get some lighting. Here we can see the difference. So you definitely can see that this one will flow a lot better. But we will keep this as a spare one. By any means, if like inspection doesn't like this one, or either way, I have been inspecting cars in Sweden with this catalytic converter before, and just as long as you drive it so it gets really hot, there won't be a problem, but you never know. And the next owner might want to change back to the stock one, so we will keep this one. So now the mid-pipe is fully welded and I fixed this rattling. The idea of setting a clamp was pretty good, but it wasn't very well executed. So now it sits, and I added some additional heat wrap so it will go all the way to the cat, so we get all the heat in the right place. And also right beside here is one of the CV joints for the prop shaft, which could be damaged due to the excessive heat, so this is a really good thing for the prop shaft as well. And I grinded down the end a little bit so it will be easier to fit to the car. So now I will fit it and you will see when it's fully installed. Here you can see the mid-pipe installed. Came out really good, as it was like OEM. Even though I just freehanded the placement, it got really good. Everything is back in order. Coolant has been topped off. Of course, when we start and it starts to circulate, we will probably have to top it off again. Everything's in order. Kind of windy outside. So to give you an update, if you don't follow me on Instagram, I got some steel from Maskinteknik i Kalmar, and this is for the rear wheel drive build, to be able to make some custom framework, to be able to make engine mounts, mount for the gearbox, etc. And I got a big sheet metal plate. This will be the flange for my new custom made oil pan. And here I got some 2mm steel sheet metal, and this will be a really sturdy like oil pan, maybe too thick, but you could definitely drop down the engine and put it down on the oil pan. So we will just lower the car, I will switch to some clean clothes, and then we will see how it sounds. So I have spent hours and hours to make this upgrade, and I really hope that it comes out as I wish to. I really wish that it gets that grunt, so you really hear that Turbo X is coming. You should hear it like a few blocks away, hopefully. But we will see. Fingers crossed everything works. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I would say as a first start, I would have thought it would be louder, but this is quite okay. And I took a little drive around the block and the turbo spools up so much faster than it did before. Before it was laggy, and then it came, and now it's just pure response. And as I said, Dion will work out a little bit tweaked tune as well, so it will be a little bit faster. But I don't have more time today, so I will leave you guys here, and this is the end of the video. I can only say that I have more stuff coming. So I got all the DO88 piping right here, charge pipe, intercooler piping, intake pipe, which will make it sound phenomenal and give it even more acceleration and response. So if you have any questions, please leave a comment down below. Subscribe to the channel, it means a lot to me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!